Hello everyone, and today we're going to talk about a little bit about some chickens today. At the farm, we try and keep as many rare breeds as we can. So we keep our chickens for laying and kind of just showing and education. So we try to keep a nice wide variety of chickens. Some of our chickens are a bit more unusual than the other ones, and some of them are kind of bog standard chickens that you kind of see on egg boxes and on TV and stuff. I'm going to start by showing you Arthur, one of our more unusual chickens. Arthur's quite good because he is a very calm-tempered chicken. He's a smaller chicken, so he's easier to handle. And this is Arthur. He is a 9-year-old Transylvanian naked neck cockerel. Transylvanian naked necks are a bit more unusual, as you can see, because they don't have any feathers on their neck or down their tummies. As their name says, they originate from Transylvania, and they've been in the UK for about 100 years now. So they've been around for a little while. They're more, you don't see them as often as you would do any other chickens, because people kind of don't like the way they look, really. Transylvanian naked necks are a dual-purpose chicken, so they have two purposes. They're largely used for their egg production because they're quite reliable little layers. They lay smaller eggs, and they're also used for meat chickens as well because, well, as you can see, they've got a lot less feathers to pluck off, and they're quite a small, meaty little bird. He's got quite thick muscles underneath all the feathers that he does have. So Arthur here is a boy chicken. We can tell he's a boy chicken because he's got this nice big red comb on top of his head, and he's got this nice big long tail that pokes up out the back, and he's got this nice big wattle that hangs underneath his chin here. So these three things show us that Arthur is a boy chicken, and boy chickens are called cockerels. We can also see, just by his eyes here, he's got these white bumpy things, and those are actually his earlobes. So chickens have ears just like we do, but his ears are hidden just behind these little feathers here. It's just an open hole in his head, and so these little feathers cover up that hole to make sure no dirt or soil or any bits of straw or hay go down there. And these white bits here are his earlobes, and it's commonly said that chickens with white earlobes will lay white eggs, but Arthur, being a boy chicken, being a cockerel, he doesn't lay any eggs. That's the job for the girl chickens. So we'll pop him back in, and we'll go and have a look at our girl chickens, our layers pen, which is a big pen that we have that's got all different types of chickens that do the egg laying for us at the farm. Now, being winter, it's very cold, and the chickens also get cold as well, and in the winter they stop laying as many eggs as they usually do, and that's just to conserve a bit of energy, so they've got more energy in their body to keep them warm in the cold weather. So the chickens that we have in our layers pen, we've got a variety here. So these ones are our Isa Browns. These are your kind of common European egg-laying chicken, and you find them at laying farms all up and down the country. And they're a good laying chicken. They can lay between 250 and 300 eggs a year. But chickens only lay very, very well until they're about 2 years old. So once they reach 2 years old, their egg numbers drop quite significantly. They can drop up to 50 to 75%. And so after that, most farmers move them on to the next place where they're going to go. So these are your very common Isa Browns here. Then we also have our French Marrons. So here we've got the cockerel that lives in the pen. He's a French Marron cock. And we've got one of the French Marron hens. We have the French Marrons in here because they lay a much darker egg. It's the same size as you get kind of from the supermarket, and it gets very, very dark towards the tip of the egg. At the back over here, we've got one of our light Sussex chickens. Those are the white ones with the black collars. Again, those are a very typical laying breed chicken, and they will lay a fair few eggs for you. Today we have got, so far, just the one egg. So this will be one of the eggs from the Isa Browns, because it's a nice red egg, the kind of eggs that you find in the supermarket. So we can pop that in a box, but before we do that, we'll just give the hens a bit of food, because it's around lunchtime. They'll be getting a bit peckish. They've eaten some of their food today, and we're going to be giving them some mixed corn, which is very much like sweets for chickens. And they know what's coming because they've all come running towards the door. And as you can see back here, we've got a nice big open pen so they can come out and they can exhibit natural behaviour, which is like scratching around and scratching and looking for bits of food and bits of, well, worms and bugs and stuff like that. So we've got some corn here, so this is just going to encourage them to scratch around, and it's a little treat for them. It's going to fill up their belly a little bit, and it's going to encourage natural behaviour, which chicken natural behaviour is to scratch around and forage for food. And also it keeps them active, and them scratching around and moving around is good exercise for them because it means they can exhibit, or like I say, they can exhibit natural behaviour, and it's good to keep their muscles moving, keep their blood circulating and keep them warm. So we'll sprinkle that around so everyone gets some. And just over in the corner there, we've got another chicken that's very similar to the Isle of Browns. It's called a Rhode Island Red. So it's slightly larger, slightly meatier, and slightly darker in colour. So if you watch the cockerel's behaviour very, very carefully, you'll sometimes see, it's very quick, but you'll sometimes see that he picks up a bit of corn and he'll throw it behind him, and that's for the hens. So lots of the corn he'll eat, and you'll hear him make a low clucking noise, and that's the cockerel encouraging the hens to come and eat some food because he's found something to eat. And the very nice cockerels will pick up a bit, and very quickly, you don't see it, it's very, very quite hard to see, but he will pick up a little bit and drop it behind him to encourage the hens to forage where he's foraging. Little cockerel over here is a Seabright cockerel. He's a golden Seabright cockerel. He is a bantam breed. Bantam is a term that we give to smaller breed chickens. The Seabright bantams come in two colours. They come in silver, which is actually a white, and the gold, which is what we have here. Now, this little chap is called Plankton, and he actually grew up with, Patrick, our much bigger cockerel, and they were both hatched from the same clutch, and they were kept together from a very, very young age, which is why we can have two cockerels in the same enclosure. Also, one cockerel is much larger than the other cockerel, so it's obvious that if they were to fight, he would win, and so that diminishes any kind of competition that we have between our French Marin cockerel and our Seabright cockerel. Also, there are plenty of hens in here for them to have their favourite hens that hang around with them. So they've got plenty of hens, so it kind of diminishes any competition that they would have between each other. But like I say, they were raised together from a very, very young age, so they get along just fine because they've always been there. The other chickens that we have for laying are we have an Araucana. So in here, these are our green egg layers, a white Araucana hen and our cream leg bars. Now, Araucanas and cream leg bars are a more primitive breed of chicken. They come from Southern America. They tend to be a bit more flighty and a bit more active. The cockerel that we have in here is a gold Araucana. So you can see the cockerel and the white hen are actually the same breed. But you can see they're just a slightly different colour. You'll both notice that behind their heads they've got a quite large plume on the back of their neck. And the hen, you'll notice it's more, you'll see it's more noticeable. Underneath her chin, she's got quite a large plume of feathers, which is often referred to as a beard. So Araucanas are chickens that have a fluff of feathers on their head, a beard, and a big plume on the back of their neck. So they've got quite a wide neck compared to other chickens that you might see. The cream leg bars are a more docile breed, even though they are still a bit more primitive. And our girls are about 4 years old now. So their egg laying has been slightly diminished because they've gone past that age a little bit. Just over here, these are our Brahmas. So in here we have two Brahma hens. So this is Red. She is another Rhode Island Red chicken that we have here. She is she doesn't like boy chickens, she doesn't like cockles very much, so we keep her separate from the other chickens that she's in here. And then these are our two Brahmas here. Their names Thelma and Louise. And these chickens are a large breed chicken. They don't really lay as many eggs as our kind of our Isaac Browns and our Rhode Island Reds and our light Sussexes do. These chickens are more for exhibition, so they're more for showing. These chickens, being a bit larger, they do need a little bit more food. Their egg numbers are quite a lot lower, but if you were after a kind of pet chicken, these chickens are very, very, very friendly chickens. You have to be quite confident when you handle them, because being a bit larger, they can be a bit more squirmish. But these chickens are very favourable because they're really big, they're really fluffy, they've got really, really dense soft feathers. And if you look at their feet, you notice they've got feathers that run all the way down their legs. If I should show you the back there, they've got feathers that run all the way down their legs to the very ends of their toes. So these chickens, well, I like to think of them, they've got trousers on. And so these chickens are very nice chickens, and they're quite happy when you pick them up and handle them. So guys, that is the chickens that we have on the farm. Glad to show you them. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again next time.